I want to bring in Brett Larson, who's an investigative reporter, to dig a little deeper into the circumstances surrounding this very strange disappearance. Brett, can you tell us when exactly she disappeared?
Yeah, good evening. And it is almost as though she vanished into thin air. As we said, she texts her daughter Sunday night to say, I made it home. Then Monday morning, her coworker at the middle school where she's the nurse says she didn't show up for work, and it's just not like her to not only not show up, but to not call ahead and say, I'm not going to be there or I'm running late. So it's Monday morning when she doesn't show up for school that people start to get suspicious, and that is when the search begins. The daughters come forward and plea with the public to please help them find their missing mother.
Now, Brett, we know then that she texted her daughter at 7 p.m., so that is the last time anyone heard from her. What did the police do next? When they got to her home, I hope they went to her home, what, if anything, did they find?
Well, they did actually go to her home, and this is what's interesting. What they found, all of her personal belongings, even her car, were still in the home. She was the only person missing from the home.
Well, let me bring in Joel Malkin also, who is a news director at News Radio 1290 WJNO. And Joel, I find it so strange that her personal items were in her home. What does that mean? What personal items? Do we know?
Well, in other words, they didn't find anything missing. So, in other words, nothing apparently had been stolen, at least at first glance. The car was there. So I guess what they're saying is it doesn't look like she just ran away and just took off. And it's just unlike her, according to her friends, not to call and show up, as Brett said, for work the next day. And that's why the big concern.
Well, Joel, do we know where authorities have searched for her?
Well, they searched, to my knowledge, the only place they've searched so far is the perimeter around her home and a pond, I believe, in front of her home. And now recently, just yesterday, we got word of a body that turned up, a female body in the town of Clewiston, which is an hour or a little over an hour away from Lindsay's home. And the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office here has been really checking in with the Sheriff's Office in Clewiston to find out if this may be her body. And so far, we're still waiting for word.
Well, we're hoping and praying for this family that it is not this poor mother of three who is missing. But let me bring in Mark Klass, who's the president and founder of the Klass Kids Foundation. And I have to ask you, she has been classified as endangered, an endangered missing adult. What does that mean?
Well, that means a couple of things. It means that based on her history, based on what people know about her, and based on the fact that she's not where she's supposed to be, that there is reason to believe that her life is endangered. What we know is that there's no forced entry, so either the door was unlocked or she allowed somebody into the house, which would indicate that she knew that person. Nothing is missing, which would indicate that theft was not a motive for her disappearance. Even her cell phone and her purse are in the house, which means that she was probably taken against her will because she would have taken those things with her. So you add all of those things up together, and it's a pretty miserable scenario.
Well,